So here is our alternator. The alternator is removed. So here's the bad unit. The power cable is still connected to it. So this is the bad one. I already got the new one from the parts store. Here is our remanufactured alternator from Napa. Now, the Mercedes dealership doesn't have this alternator. I was gonna get an OEM alternator, but this alternator is on a back order. So I had to go with an aftermarket. When it comes to Mercedes vehicle and alternators, starters, pretty much any electric motor and electronic components, I always like to go with OEM parts, but unfortunately I couldn't get my hands on an OEM alternator for this vehicle. So we're gonna go aftermarket and hopefully it lasts long. So here is our brand new alternator. Here it is. As you can see, it looks identical to the one we have. So I'm gonna get the box out of the way. Okay, so our alternator looks identical to the one we have. So everything looks good. I'm gonna position the cable the way this one is. So I'm gonna remove the nut. Out of this alternator. So this is gonna go right here. All right, so we got the cable, the power cable connected to the alternator. So now I'm gonna tighten it. It's easier to do it this way because trying to tighten the cable back there while the alternator is on, it's very difficult. Now we wanna be careful. We don't wanna go super gorilla on this. All right, so that's tightened. We're good to go. So now I'm gonna get my old alternator out of the way. I'm gonna put it back in the box. There's a core charge on this. So we're gonna have to send this old alternator to the store. So now we're gonna install our alternator. The alternator is gonna go back in just like that. Nicely and slowly. Now we're gonna get the bottom bolt on. Alright, so I got the bolts for the alternator started. Now I'm making sure that the bottom bolts also started, and then I'm gonna tighten all of them. Alright, so I got our new alternator installed. So I got the bolts started. So now we're gonna tighten this bolt. Alright, so I got these bolts tightened. Now I'm gonna tighten this one over here. I already tightened the bottom bolt of the alternator. Alright, so that's good. We got all our alternator bolts tightened. So now I'm gonna reconnect this electrical connector over here to the alternator connector back here. Okay, so just like that, our brand new alternator is installed. So now let's install the serpentine belt. Now we're gonna put the serpentine belt back on. Alright, so the serpentine belt is installed, so we're good to go. So now I'm gonna install this little cap that goes on the back of the alternator. This goes on the B positive terminal, so the cable where the stud of the alternator is. Okay, so we got that installed back there. We're good. Everything looks good. Okay, the belt is installed, the alternator bolts are tightened. So now I'm gonna install this cable over here, the cable for the alternator, the positive cable of the alternator. So we got this tightened. I'm gonna close this lid, and then we're gonna install this cover that goes over here. Alright, so that's good. So now we're gonna install the bolt that goes over here, that holds this cable down, and then we're gonna tighten it. Alright, so we're done. We're good to go. Everything is back together. Okay, we have replaced our alternator, so now we should be able to start the engine, and after we start the engine the battery light should no longer be on the dash. I'm gonna bring up our multimeter here. We're gonna turn on our multimeter. So we're gonna connect our positive lead of the multimeter to this positive jump start point over here. And then we're gonna connect our negative lead to ground. As you can see, we're reading system voltage. So now I'm gonna go in the vehicle and start the engine. So when I start the engine, if the alternator is now charging the system, our voltage should go up to 13.5 or 14 volts. Okay, so now let's go in the vehicle and start the engine. So as you can hear, the engine is running. There are no lights on the dash. Everything looks good. So now let's go back under the hood. Let's look at the multimeter. Let's see what voltage we have here. Oh, check this out. Now we have 13.67 volts. Actually, it's going up 13.70 volts. So that's good. We made the right call. This is fixed. Here is our new alternator. As you can see, everything looks good. You can hear the secondary air pump running. So this is good, guys. We're good to go. This is fixed. Right now our charging system is up to 13.93. It went all the way up to 14 volts. So right there, 14.02 volts. I like this. I like what I see. This is awesome. Oh, I forgot to put this cover back on. I'm gonna have to remove this. Let's put this cover that goes on the positive side of the battery. Okay, so this is fixed. 13.94 volts at idle. I'm okay with that. Okay, so that means this is fixed. All right, so we got the battery cover reinstalled, so we're good to go. So now I'm gonna reinstall the engine cover that goes over here, just like that, and then we're gonna install the cover that goes right here. Just like that. All right, so we're good to go. Okay, so I can take my multimeter out of the way. This is fixed, guys. We now have good system voltage on this vehicle after replacing the alternator. Okay, our new alternator is down there, so we're good to go. So now I'm gonna turn off the engine so we can wrap up this video. We are back in the vehicle. As you can hear, the vehicle is running and the battery light is off. So this is fixed, guys. Okay, let's start the engine again. Right there, no battery lights on the dash. Our system voltage is now 14.2 volts, so we're good to go. So now let's wrap up this video. This Mercedes is fixed. The issue on this Mercedes was a defective alternator. We replaced the alternator. Now all is well. The battery light is no longer remaining on the dash. I hope you liked the video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give it a thumb down. But if you do, you gotta tell me why, so we can make better videos in the future. If this is your first time here, subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. If you have any comments, questions, criticism, leave them in the comment box. Thanks for watching. See you next time.